Oh. Seems like this match is not live, guys. Oh, it is live. Reynor just doesn't have a camera? I was about to say, I was not aware of the fact that some of the matches were not going to be live today. But apparently, this one is alive. Reynor, just too handsome. Did not want to put all of us to shame today. Said, Roddy, you're an old man. I know it hurts when you see these youngsters living out their best life, being great at video games. Reynor in Italy? Yes. Reynor is currently in Italy. I don't know if he's at the family house or if he's at the grandma house. It is one of the two. I haven't heard much of the grandma house, so I think we're just at home with the fam. Hello, unlucky. Go BattleB. Don't you know that it's a it's a federal crime to be cheering against BASILISK on this channel during the WTL Code S. Here we go, guys. Final play day of the regular season. We have won 8 in a row. We started off 0-2. We are now 8-2. Can we make it 9-2? And put the pressure on Vitality, who have a very difficult match on Sunday afternoon. Top left side of Oceanborn, it is our German Terran, who was freaking fantastic in the European Pro Tour Weekly last Monday, which is why I also invited him to the Basilisk Big Brain Bouts tonight. BattleB. That's a lot of B's, by the way. Basilisk Big Brain Bouts BattleB. Some would even call him 5 B's. In the bottom right side, we are looking at the main base of the man who made us sweat last week because we needed those 3 points badly. And if he would have lost that game on Crimson Court against Goblin, we would not have been able to walk away with 3 points. But he didn't lose. Everyone said he couldn't do it. Besides the old man. I was a believer from the very beginning till the very end. Does the bracket side show current standing playoff-wise? Yes. Right now, there are 2 teams with 24 points. Those 2 teams are Vitality and Basilisk. If we both win without an ace match, you get 3 points. They will win the regular season. However, we play first. They play last. They've got a very difficult opponent. That opponent being Team Liquid. And for Team Liquid, a win is also important on Sunday, because they can also get higher up in the standings, which means deeper seed into the playoffs. So it's going to be a very fun and exciting final weekend of the regular season. And if you guys are wondering about the playoffs, that will happen at the final weekend of this entire month. Obviously, in less than 10 days, a lot of us will be flying to Saudi Arabia for the biggest tournament in history. And after that, we've got 2 weeks to chill, and then it's WTL Code S time. BattleB opening up very standard. Reaper Fast Expand Factory, Reactor on the way. We're expecting, obviously, a very clean Reynor here. Reynor, who did participate in the Kung Fu Cup on Wednesday. That didn't go very well. But obviously, that was A, ZVP against a world-class Korean Protoss. And B, those games have ping. This game has no ping. Clem is still in Korea on Sunday, yeah. So Clem will be playing against the lads from Vitality with 0 ping. But they will obviously have 0 ping against him. I expect that to happen anytime soon, Aramelski. It's a good question. I find it a bit odd that we have not announced that yet. But honestly, I am expecting that announcement to go out today, tomorrow, the next day. It should really be anytime soon. Perhaps they were waiting until all the flights were booked. Because some of you guys may be surprised, but 10 days before we're supposed to be there. Some of us, including me, don't have a flight yet. Now, I did have a proposal this morning, and I just say yes because I always say yes. I don't want to be a troublemaker. I'm not very demanding. I know some of you guys think I'm a diva. I'm not trying to be one, but my flight home kind of sucks. My flight home is at like 11:55 p.m. I have to check out at my hotel at 1 p.m. If I want to stay an extra day, I obviously have to pay that myself. I'm not going to do that. So I have to spend 10 hours. Hopefully I can just drop my luggage at the hotel and I'll be like, I'll pick it up later. Then it's not too bad. But then my flight home also has a technical stop. What does that mean? I think we're just fueling the plane up somewhere. More jet fuel, baby. So my little 5.5 hour flight is turning into a 9-hour flight from midnight till 9 a.m. the following morning. But it's okay. It is what it is. If that's the worst thing in the world, I think we can survive. I don't have to pay for anything, young Ulster. I never pay for my own flights to events. It is a complete waste of money on the travel side that they don't organize it quicker, because obviously the longer you wait, the more expensive flights get. But I'm not in charge. What can I do? Thank you, Highland Gorillas, for the 12 months. I appreciate it, matey. Reynor getting a baneling nest, couple of spore crawlers. So far, a very macro-oriented game without any player willing to take a big risk. The Cloak Banshees are about to come online. First one still waiting, so BattleB is kind of trying to hide the fact that he's playing Cloak Banshee. It will not come as a shocker to Reynor. But it's still one of these things where, as long as you don't confirm it to your opponent, they have to play the guessing game, right? Is it happening? Is it not happening? Even if Clem has the Stormgate tournament starting tonight for us, I am sure that he's still playing a lot of Starcraft. And obviously, like, if Clem plays 3 days of Stormgate, it's not like Sony's like, oh no, I have no idea what to do anymore in Starcraft. I expect Clem to be an animal on Sunday. And if he's not, I'll be very disappointed. The highest MMR I've ever beat, 6,900. Never beat a 7k player. But there have just been so few of them. Well, technically I beat players that were 7k, but not when they were on this 7k account. But I don't think it really matters. It's even better, Gary. If Vitality goes to an ace match, we are first. But first we need to win. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Let's first see what happens here, as BattleB has been very, very patient with his Cloak Banshees. It shows up at the bottom side of the map, kills 4 drones. Banshee's still healthy, at least one of them. It's a pretty good start. It is completely silly to talk about what we need from Team Liquid before our match is done. I think we saw how omega close it was last week. Don't count yourself rich until you're there. Don't count your chickens until they hatch. It's actually not bad what BattleB is doing here, guys. 4 drones earlier, 3 extra drones right now. He's got a little move out. Obviously, Reynor has been a greedy boy. He has been all about that macro. Ooh, okay, the Spore Crawler moved. Snipes one of the Banshees. That is nice. This is still going to be annoying. This is like one of these setups where if you take one really bad fight as a Zerk, you could be in all sorts of trouble. Tank shots are pretty good. I'm not worried for EWC for Jeremy, but I am tiny bit worried for Sunday. Because it is obviously weird if you play a lot of Stormgate today, tomorrow, maybe even on Sunday, and then you also have to play WTL-Guest-Member. But perhaps Team Liquid put in a request for Clem to play earlier this week. That's possible. So maybe Clem has already played. And if it goes to an ace match, we don't need him. Because if they go to an ace match, we already finished first. But EWC, I'm not worried about for Clem. Clem will have plenty of time to grind SC2 like he always does. Reynor sets up a little counterattack. The creep spread is fantastic by the Italian Stallion. He's got so much map vision, makes it very uncomfortable for BattleB to rally reinforcements to the other side of the map. Banelings coming in from the left side. Will BattleB hit us with the pickup? No pickup. So Reynor finds absolutely insanely good connections. And that's the kind of stuff that the Italian Stallion was looking for. He's going to get the tanks as well. Still a big army though on the top right side. This young German Terran, guys, is really turning into a bit of an animal. If you guys saw him last Monday, you would know what I'm talking about. One of the craziest games of the year was played on Oceanborn between him and Skillis. And did he play well? And don't forget that BattleB also 2-0'd ShoWTimE in that tournament. BattleB is really good. Hive-Tech is about to finish up. Reynor did lose that hatchery on the right side, but he's still a 4-base Zerk. We can maybe go up to 5 bases in the bottom left. I'm not surprised that this is competitive, because BattleB is really good. Reynor supply blocked, and he's gonna say, you know what, let's just trade out some units. Let's set up a sick 360 no scope Red Bull surround. It gave him wings, gives us wings. That's a pretty damn good cleanup. As our hive tech is 75% done. I think we're pretty happy with this, guys. The creep is really good once more. This is slowing everything down a little bit on the side of BattleB. And it obviously always gives Reynor the information where his opponent is at. As Reynor finds a big army on the top right side, BattleB focused on the bottom left side of our screen. Did manage to save some of those Marines, but Reynor is finding excellent connections. It's also right before those 2-2 upgrades for the Terran player. That was a great catch. And it all once more starts with the creep. Because the creep on the left side, he sees that BattleB has a bit of an army there, throws down a scan, sends 24-30 Marines by themselves. Reynor sees the rest of the army relatively exposed. Finds insanely good connections. It is a solid start to our final clan war of the regular season. We are not there yet, but with Adrenal Glands on the production tab, the first 4 Vipers out. Ghost nowhere in sight. I'm feeling pretty damn good about this one. I think Reynor right now is just gathering up some energy on his Vipers. Do you guys think he's gonna do the Reynor for us? If he feels like it's in the bag, if he lands a great Blinding Cloud and a couple of good abducts and he spams a Parabomb, will we see a certified Reynor moment? Six bases at this point, by the way, for Reynor. 7 even. We're going up to 7 with the top right side being taken as well. 18 creep tumors, by the way. So silly. I like the idea of spreading creep. I think creep as a mechanic has always been, yeah, very unique, cool, well thought out. I do think from time to time creep has been too good. I don't know if right now I would say it's too good. It's obviously been nerfed a couple of times. But the fact that you can have 19 creep tumors being spreading creep at once feels like we're pushing it a little bit there. Surprised that Reynor is not sending it. Obviously, here's a 7 base Zerg. He's got hive tech. Maybe he's waiting for 3-3. Maybe he was waiting to gather up like a tiny bit of a bank so he can immediately remax on Lings and Ultras. But we've got Lurkers potentially on the way as well. I thought there was a chance to end it with just Ling, Bane, Viper. But I don't think BattleB had a great answer for that. Now BattleB is a slightly better setup. A is maxed out, B has got Ghost on the way, C we got Sensor Towers. Reynor is going to try to get a Nidus or 2 online. Maybe a Nidus in the natural, Nidus in the main. And there is our first Nidus. BattleB is all over it though. Stims a couple of units. Second Nidus goes up deep inside of the main base as well. Obviously, while BattleB is distracted by dealing with these Niduses, that's when Reynor can go for it. Here are the Lings, the Banes, the Vipers. There's a couple of parasitic bombs have landed. Seems like the tanks are just in really good positions. It's a pretty good hold by BattleB, but obviously Reynor is mega rich. So, a failed attack. It's nothing to get mega worried over. We've got a long Friday of Starcraft. Obviously, we have Big Brain Battles later tonight as well with more Reynor. Reynor versus Skillis. I thought that was an excellent main event to make, because I think that Skillis was a little tired, a little exhausted last Monday. And I'm not saying that I believe he's going to beat our boy tonight, but I do believe that Skillis can make it a lot closer, a lot more competitive than he did last Monday. And I think some of these series really drained him to the max. So he was all up for the rematch, and he actually had some fighting words. And Reynor said, sure, if he wants more, he can get more. I'm excited for that. Should happen in, give or take, 9 hours from now. 8 hours, 9 hours, something like that. More Nidus attempts deep inside of the main base, as we have Seismic Spines on the way. Not a Nidus in the natural. That's obviously so stressful if you're BattleB. You're going to have to take care of all these fires. Well, you have to worry about the Blazing Inferno. That is all these Lings, Banelings, and Vipers that are out on the map. A third Nidus attempt. As indeed, we went way past 205 supply. I feel like the stream is a tiny bit choppy. It's annoying. There's nothing I can do about it. One of the Niduses finally does come online, and immediately it's a bunch of lurkers getting out. BattleB is quick to lift his orbital. What Reynor can obviously do right now is maybe move them back into the Nidus if he wants to. He's not... Yeah, he did that for a couple of them, and immediately unload them in the main base. These are plays by Reynor. Just when BattleB takes care of a couple of lurkers in the triangle, he has to take care of lurkers in the main. And this is obviously where maybe some of those three Zerglings with Adrenal glands can find magic too. I'd love to see the Vipers get a little more involved. There were definitely a few tanks that he could have abducted. We do end up losing our base in the top right side. But the Zerglings and lurkers are doing their thing. It's a lot of burning Terran buildings, minus 24 SCVs already. And Reynor hasn't even truly sent it. These are just the Lings and the lurkers, guys. The Banelings, they didn't even get their feet wet yet. It's just a matter of time. Here are the Banes. There goes the Planetary. The Vipers, they've used their energy on a couple of Blinding Clouds, maybe an abduct. Didn't see any parabumps. What I do see is Reynor just consuming this map. Our boy is feeling fast, feisty. Another knight is in the main. Why the hell not? Another knight is in the triangle. Another knight is in the fourth. We knight us all day, every day. 44 workers have gone down on the side of BattleB. And at this point I wonder, when did BattleB have enough? If this was a boxing fight and I'd be his coach, I think I would throw in the white tower by now. I see it. You're a warrior. You want to go out on your sword, but... Or your shield. I guess you go out on your shield, right? I don't know how much longer BattleB can really keep this up. Obviously, the first 3 bases are going to be pretty much mined out 16 minutes into a game of Legacy of the Void. So our German Terran desperately needs to get his hands on a 5th base. I just don't really see Reynor ever letting that happen. What BattleB does have, guys, is 151 army supply. So it might be doable for him to take some good fights. Lands a couple of EMPs on the Vipers, but we still got a single Blinding Cloud. The Bane count is high. The Lings are making their way through the front lines at least. I don't think that's enough Banelings to quite blow up the Planetary, but it is enough to blow up a few more SCVs. And obviously reset that army of BattleB to some degree. Reynor definitely lost more there than our German Terran, but that's pretty much always going to happen when you walk into a sensor tower range and there's a Planetary backing it up. It's crazy, he doesn't have lips. I don't think he's really had the money for it, mate. BattleB maybe took a look at his SCV count, saw 38, and he realized that if this keeps going, it's not something he can possibly keep up. So it's time to fight back. He takes out that base in the top right side once more. Second time that BattleB manages to gun down this hatchery. Reynor obviously immediately realizing that there is potential for more Nidus networks on the other side of the map. It's a solid start to our clan war here at the WTL Code S. All the drones are hiding in the top right. Reynor definitely having a good time. Lurkers could shoot from the high ground. Oh, those are some satisfying lurker shots. And at the same time, it's Ling, Lurker, Hydra, Viper getting on top of all these tanks on the right side of the map. Marauders are trying to body block a little bit for the Banelings, but it is not enough. Reynor gets us the start that we were looking for. A 1-0 lead. Strong performance by our man. And also a long Friday for him. A best of 2 in the afternoon and a best of 5 at night. BattleB did not play bad there. It just feels like you can really see the difference so badly between a Reynor that plays a lot of Starcraft or a Reynor that plays a couple games here and there and then also plays a lot of League of Legends or goes to the bar every Friday. This Reynor plays a lot of Starcraft. It's very obvious. The creep is there, the mechanics are there, the injects are there, the run-bys are there, the multitasking. Kid is looking good. What were the dates last year for Gamers 8? Somebody has Wikipedia open for me. Was that like at the exact same time? Were we in August? Or was it already past at this point? I know it is approximately a year ago, but I don't know if it was exactly a year ago or a bit less, a bit more. But that Gamers 8 Reynor may have very well been the strongest Reynor we've ever seen. It was August 3rd to 6th. So we are 1 day away from that being a year ago. Reynor did actually lose the series early on. I think he made it out of the Swiss format with 3 wins and 1 loss. I think he lost to Classic, if I recall that correctly. After that, the man was flying and he never looked back. Lost 0-2 to Classic, yeah. Was that the first series of the tournament? That quarterfinals of Classic against Cure, oh my god. That actually still hurts. With that game 5 on the big green map, as Jonah would call it. Oh my goodness. That still hurts. Tiny bit surprised by Dynasty as a map choice here. WTL-Guest uses a loser pick format, so BattleB had the choice to pick whatever map he wanted. And that handsome German young man decided to go for Dynasty. I feel like most Terrans go for, I don't know, Crimson Core is pretty good. I hope Foxer is not here, but I think Side Delta is good. Obviously some of them do like Oceanborn, but a little bit surprised to see Dynasty. Bottom left side, the German Terran BattleB. Top right side, trying to give us a great start to our final clan war of the regular season. And it could very well be, not saying it is, but it could very well be the second to last clan war we have overall here in the WTL-Guest. Because if we win and we get all 3 points and Vitality just loses 1 point by even going to an ace match on Sunday, that means that Basilisk will start in the grand finals of the playoffs. And we will play against one of the other teams that make it through the playoff bracket. That obviously means less Basilisk, but I'm okay with it, guys. We have never had the luxury of winning the regular season. And I know when we started off 0-2, I said I don't really want to win the regular season, I'd rather win the playoffs. And I stand by that. But it would be nice to start in the grand finals and guarantee top 2. Yona didn't go to Game as 8. Yona absolutely did go to Game as 8. Yona lost to Classic indeed in the group stage, went 3-1, and then lost to Solar 0-3 in the quarterfinals. And I believe Solar lost to Cure. Reynor beat Clem in the semifinals, and then Reynor beat Cure 4-1 in the grand finals. And Cure obviously beat Classic in the quarterfinals. And Clem beat Maru. Sick tournament. Game as 8 really was an awesome tournament. Production was insanely good. The studio was so awesome. I loved it. BattleB is gonna take the gold. Reynor has a nice copy pasta on his Twitch channel about how he loves Dynasty. And what he loves the most are all the interesting and unique ways that Zork players cannot take the gold. But Protoss and Terrans can. That's a very low HP drone. Reynor really wants to get this hedge down. He's going to be forced to bring the queens over. Excellent Reaper movement, guys, as BattleB snipes the second Zergling. BattleB ain't done yet. Gets Zergling number 3. Cannot delay this hatchery from going down any longer. But that was still incredibly good Reaper movement. Yeah, game 1 of the grand finals. Reynor went down 0-1 against Cure in the grand finals. And then game 2 was actually really close and competitive. If I recall correctly, it was on Altitude, the massive ice map. I was very confident going into the finals for Reynor, but when he was down 0-1 and he had to work damn hard for it in game 2 and he was almost losing, I started getting pretty worried. I was like, ah. But after he still won Altitude, I was like, okay. I think now our boy is gonna cook. And cooking, he absolutely did. Yeah. Game 1 was Cure. Game 2 was very close. And then game 3, 4, and 5, it just kind of felt that Reynor grew stronger and stronger throughout that grand finals. Pretty early Roach Warren going down on the side of Reynor. That's not quite J Money Magic early, but it is early. But I guess this is the style he wants to play here. And we're going to get a couple of safety roaches out. It is nice to have like a couple ravages early on and then sneak them towards the goal. drop a corrosive bow. Even if BattleB has a Banshee or two, like the Banshees cannot be everywhere at once. It's similar to playing Phoenix against Adepts. Phoenix obviously very good against Adepts, but if my Phoenixes are on the other side of the map and two Adepts show up in my main, I'm kinda screwed. And if BattleB flies his two Banshees to the top side of the map, and Reynor sneaks two Ravages in range of that gold, auto attack, corrosive bow, you can easily grab a couple workers very quickly. Pretty strong start overall by BattleB. I like what he's done. Obviously made this a bit more uncomfortable for Reynor, so Reynor couldn't quite explode the way he wanted to. There is a good chance that this game we just stay on 3 bases and we go 8 wrecks, 8 barracks, and we pump out some marines and we never look back. And then Clem already was freaking amazing even before game is 8. Clem just sometimes had a hard time really bringing his A+ game to offline events. He definitely played solid in some early stages of big tournaments, but then he couldn't quite get it together. Katowice seems to be a bit of an unhappy place for Clem. Did make it to a finals of Home Story Cups and then only lost to Serral. Well, there's no shame in that. Sometimes it just takes a little while before someone is truly able to bring their very best to an offline event. Some people are naturals, they go to an offline event, they play as well or even better than they ever did online. And for some people it just takes a couple of trips. Reynor gets a great scout off here. He can start counting all these barracks and he will know it's a lot of Rexes. I think it's Banshees killing drones, by the way. The WTL observer is like, man, look at this overseer. Meanwhile, we got 2 Banshees in the natural. Atlanta was Clem's biggest offline win, yes. He also won the Big Game Invitational in Germany. No reason to count that one out. Went back to back at offline events. Are you guys disrespecting the Big Gape Cup over here? Because that ain't happening, not on my watch. Banshee's getting against on the hatch is obviously quite solid for BattleB. Reynor knows what he's up against. This is the kind of build, this is the kind of map. But if you take one bad fight, if you're Reynor, it's over immediately. Reynor is only on 68 drones. That is obviously going to give him a few more units than he would normally have. But that also means that the fights are really important. Just like a little trade here and there on the edge of creep. Getting a couple of marines, we're not killing tanks. That is not going to be good enough. This is honestly going to be difficult for Reynor because this Terran army packs a punch. Reynor is going to try to buy some time with the roaches and the ravages, but BattleB is playing this very decisive. The baneling's not quite ready yet. We are 10 seconds away from baneling speed, but those 10 seconds could turn into 10 very long seconds. But the slow banelings just don't quite find the connections that we were looking for. I don't know if that was good enough for Reynor, guys. Reynor still has no upgrades. He's chasing very far off creep right now. It's obviously nice to get the tanks. It is nice to push the tanks back as he edges out a tiny supply lead. Getting the tanks towards the end obviously made it pretty alright, acceptable. But Reynor is not rich. He is mining of the mega base. So that's massive. We've got gold minerals, we've got a rich Vespian geyser, but he does not have a lot of units right now. And there's always way more micro potential in the Terran army than there is in the Zerg army. Reynor needs those extra banes to finish up. The creep is absolutely fantastic throughout the center and bottom side of the map. That's not necessarily going to help us that much in the straight up fight. As BattleB is gearing up for round 2. Trying to re-establish a bit of a tank count. Because he did lose a lot of his tanks and that's obviously a bit annoying for him. It's too scary right now for Reynor, but Reynor's economy is better than what it looks like, because 67 drones doesn't sound impressive, but then if you have a gold and you have a rich Vespian geyser, That is basically the equivalent of having normally like 78, 80 drones. So then it actually is alright. Reynar's thinking of a big old counterattack. What you can obviously do with this as well is force the Terran to keep a lot of units at home, and then you can set up a surround. Will Reynor just go for the surround immediately? The tanks are on siege. Every single tank is on siege. BattleB does see a couple of the changelings. 38 Zerglings on the way. 12 extra Banelings morphing. BattleB is now going to see these units that were lurking in the shadows. He's going to have to walk his Marines around. Maybe there was a moment for Reynor to just go for it there. Those Banelings not quite finding the dream connections. BattleB's army is so freaking large. Reynor really needs to be very careful fighting off creep. If he finds a tank here and he finds a tank there, it's acceptable, but these are risky fights. Will the Banelings be able to connect? Yes, they do. BattleB did not have a single tank sieged up, and those were by far and away the best Baneling connections of the game. And that is going to buy a lot of time for Reynor. Obviously, BattleB at this point, he's gonna mine out his gold in the near future, guys, because he took his first expand as a pocket expand. Those gold bases don't last very long. That's also gonna open the door for Reynor to set up some Zergling counterattacks. Those Baneling connections were massive. Reynor not quite there yet, but he's almost there. But at this point, Hive Tech not done yet. No Adrenal Glands, no Ultras. He's absolutely not there yet. BattleB will have at least another very scary, very powerful attack. Medevac's working overtime. Reynor +1 melee done, +2 carapace done. As Lings and Banes trying to set up surround. Here is that surround. BattleB knows that it's coming, so you can kind of micro against it. It is just so many Banelings. And that forces BattleB to pick up all these buy units for a split second. He actually unloads everything immediately here near the tanks. Close competitive fights, but now Hive Tech is done. So now Reynor can maybe sneak in a Viper or two. That's exactly what he does immediately. We can fire up Adrenal Glands. That's what he does. He is damn broke though. Reynor still needs to be careful as he sets up a tiny Zergling counter. Gets one of the tanks. That is very important. I think the Baneling count is pretty low. BattleB knows probably that it's low. If it is gonna happen for the German Terran, it's gonna have to happen sooner rather than later. Because he is not well set up to deal with Hive Tech Reynor. He was well set up to deal with Lair Tech Reynor, not Hive Tech Reynor. It takes too long, I think, for him to get goals right now. Getting Liberators is maybe a play. I wouldn't hate a couple Liberators right now, to be fair. Yeah. I think if you have this many medevacs, should be fine. Obviously, Vipers are good against Liberators too. But Vipers cannot do everything. Reynor doesn't have like 7 Vipers, so it's not like he can blinding cloud or duck and parabomb everything at once. Mining out the gold is going to be really problematic though, dealing with those Zergling run-bys. Reynor obviously will know that those gold minerals are about to be mined out. And BattleB does not have a secondary wall on that little ramp that goes up to his main base. It is Reynor favorite, but he's not there yet. Like once Reynor also has an Ultralisk Cavern with Kindness Plating, and we got 5 Ultras against the Terran without Libs and Ghosts, yeah, then it's over. With the current armies that we're working with, it is not over yet, but it's looking very good for Reynor. Sick performance by BattleB though, you really gotta give it to him. Young German Terran has played an excellent game and made this one very close and competitive. And 14 minutes in, quite honestly, he's still allowed to dream. He has fired up 3-3 now. BattleB is still allowed to dream as Reynor has a couple Banelings and all those Banelings did connect. And BattleB does get a cancel on this hatchery in the top side of the map. I feel like a couple Libs would be solid. The doors are open here. I want Reynor to go for some run-bys through the gold here. Reynor should know that these gold minerals are... You can also get on top of the triangle. That was the main, obviously. Oh no, the Vipers are a little bit far forward, but they do drop a couple of parasitic bombs. 3 of them even. Look at the damage. One of those medevacs had parabomb on it as well. Seems like BattleB was not quite aware of it. The Banelings trying to make their way through the cracks. The micro is so damn good though on the side of a young German Terran. In the end, Reynor seems like he's got enough. That one tank is not seized up. It cannot get picked up. Really good micro by BattleB, but Reynor just had a numbers advantage. That was pretty much everything that Reynor had though. So BattleB is going to try to get this hatchery in the bottom right side, but he will not get it. Reynor is here in time with the Zerglings. I mean, these games are awesome. These games are awesome, but I think after those trades, it really does feel like Reynor's got BattleB on the ropes at this point. BattleB is now floating over his natural, so it looks like he's a 5-base Terran, but what he actually is just a 3-base Terran. It's floated over his main, floated over his natural. The income will be there, but he needs something that is a bit more powerful than just Marines and Morales. I don't know if Reynor will ever give him the time for that. A single barrel bomb could be devastating in the middle of all those medevacs that have gone through war. They have collected a couple of battle scars over these previous moments, and there you guys can see the barrel bombs as BattleB is trying to micro his Marines and Marauders. Every single medevac gets blown up. Been there, done that, just with Phoenixes. It is Reynor who gets a 2-0 victory. Bam! That is one way, guys, to start our final clan war of the regular season. Solid performance. Happy with it. Reynor looked good. BattleB looked good as well, even if he didn't win. I think BattleB played well and looked good. Reynor 2-0. Guys, we are 1 minute past the hour, and that is when I have to take my ad break. So I'll be right back. A second set of best of two is coming up. As it is time for the finish ZVZ. What a banger, guys. Serral versus Mixu. Best of two. Serral 2-0. Mixu 2-0. 1-1 draw. What a beautiful matchup this is. I absolutely love it. I'll give you guys 10 minutes. I don't know if they're quite ready yet. We'll figure it out. Serral Mixu. Look, I love it. I actually really love it. A little Finnish civil war over here, guys. What a matchup. A Finnish civil war. Mixu takes on his friend, his idol, the great Joona Sotala. Serral, by the way, guys, undefeated this season. Oh, WTL code S. 12-0 in maps, if I recall that correctly. Let me just double check that, because the players are not quite ready yet. But I believe he's undefeated. Statistics. Serral 12-0. Oh, it's 10-0, sorry. Serral's 10-0. So if Serral wins today, 2-0, then he would finish the regular season 12-0. So he has played 5 clan wars so far. Hey, MaxPax has overtaken Mar. Oh, that's because he's got one more win. Maro's win record is better, but MaxPax got one more win. 19 map wins, by the way. That is crazy. Alright, our game is all ready. Thank you, Apostle. I appreciate it, matey. Ooh, Mixu's at a LAN. Mixu is at a LAN. Is it Aces ROG right now, guys? Or, well, that's at least where we had Aces ROG a long time ago. Is that the LAN in Helsinki? Assembly, yeah, that's what I mean. We had the Aces ROG tournament back then at Helsinki. Assembly. I went to one assembly. It was super fun. That was actually a cool thing for me. Is that when I went to Aces ROG at assembly, I had the chance to meet my very old Warcraft 3 teammate, Satini. Satini was a Warcraft 3 player that was incredibly good, one of the best Night Elves in Europe. He was on Fnatic with me back in the days. But Satini was afraid of traveling, so I never got to meet him throughout my entire Warcraft 3 career. But then when I finally went to Finland for a Starcraft tournament, he was there. That was very cool, obviously, to meet somebody that I played alongside with, 2v2, played a lot of 1v1s against him. That was really awesome. Exactly 5 years ago. The bottom left side, it is the man who's undefeated and is obviously in excellent shape as well, as we're getting closer and closer to the Esports World Cup. BASILISK Reynor, aka Joona. On the top right side, we are looking at the main base of the man who always gets the love and support of Serral whenever he plays in any tournament. It is Berserker eSports Mixu. I like how there are random guys just walking around Mixu. They have no idea that if they would just stare at that monitor, they could see some greatness. I know. I don't think anybody that's currently walking past Mixu has any idea that Mixu is currently playing a best of 2 against the greatest Starcraft 2 player in history. Now, Dynasty is a fun, funky map. They haven't casted too many ZVZs on this map. Obviously, we saw Reynor play Scarlet on this map a while ago. And Scarlet did manage to take that one down. Just with a lot of roaches, lings, ravages of, I think it was 31 drones, give or take. Serral has taken the pocket expand. Mixu has taken the low ground and is now also taking the pocket expand. He's playing at assembly, guys. He's playing at assembly. Serral already has a Zergling speed on the way. For Mixu, it's all out macro at this point. No gas at all. That obviously means that Mixu does need to get a wall off going, guys, real soon. Oh, Serral drops a Roach Warren 2 minutes and 44 seconds into the game. As his Overlord has scouted that pocket expand. And I think Serral just says, I see what you're doing here, mate. You're trying to get away with murder. You are way too greedy. We are not going to do this. I am not going to play that game. Oh, Mixu, can he get that Overlord? That would obviously be a... No, he can't get it. I guess he would have lost high ground vision there. You were there too 5 years ago. It was awesome. Yeah, it really was an awesome event. I loved it. I had a great time. I was the host actually there because I had to replace Kalaris since Kalaris got sick. So I was signed up to cast, but then because Kalaris couldn't make it, they said, Roddick, can you help us out? Can you host instead of casting? And it was actually really cool. I loved everything about it. The only thing that I did not love is that was obviously really, really short after Jeff passed away. And I get goosebumps when I think back of those days. That was not easy. It was not easy to travel, be excited over Starcraft, be professional. Obviously, digesting everything that happened. But besides that, the event was really cool. The Finnish people were awesome. The crowd was awesome. But it was a difficult time. Let's see. What can Serral do here, guys? Mixu's... Oh my god. Mixu's at 50 drones, guys. Mixu is at 50 drones. Serral's on 27. Mixu's at 50. Mixu's gonna see it now, and he's gonna do his best to crank out as many roaches as humanly possible. Try to get a couple of spine crawlers up. The queens are very far off. Creep losing 2 queens when you're about to pull off an impossible hold against the greatest Starcraft 2 player of all time is obviously not the way you want to start things up. I like what Mixu tried to do here, guys. He was just omega greedy. And he said, I know how good you are. And if I have to play an honest straight-up game, it's not gonna go my way. So let's try to get away with murder. But Jona's having none of it. That is the man who did a Nidus all-in against me on my birthday. Because he said I could not get away with the gold. And apparently he will even all-in his good friend, fellow country Zerg Mixu. Because he can't let Mixu get away with that either. Thank you, Valve, for the prime. Welcome, matey. 3-0, guys. We are 1 map away from walking away with 3 points guaranteed today. And obviously putting the pressure on Vitality. We don't know if that's going to amount to anything. We will only know that at Sunday 5 PM, give or take. But as long as we do what we have to do, at least that makes for a very exciting Sunday. Poor Mixu. Got a sting when you get all in by your idol. Oh, come on, Yona. Just let me get away with it. Serral takes no prisoners. If he thinks that he should punish you, he will punish you. Mixu's at Assembly. Assembly is the Finnish version of a DreamHack Jan Chopping of net games that we used to have in the Netherlands, of a DreamHack Austin, of what is that one called in Oslo, in Hamar? The Gathering. In Norway they have The Gathering, in Finland they have Assembly, and in Sweden they have DreamHack. Thank you so much, matey, for gifting a subby to Goatee Bear as well. Really appreciate it. They probably have a Starcraft tournament there as well. A lot of these lands do have Starcraft tournaments for anybody that goes to the land. And Finland definitely has a decent amount of reasonable players. Obviously, Serral is by far and away the best. But they've got quite a few guys that are pretty solid. With Mixu obviously these days leading the charge, being the second best player. Aren't those all the same country? No, they are not. They will be very upset if you say that. I also went to The Gathering one time. I shared that story with you guys quite a few times. They asked me to cast the Warcraft 3 tournament in like the year 2007. They said, hey, do you want to cast this tourney? We'll fly you out, put you in a hotel, you get 400 euros. That was a crazy amount of money for me, so I was like, hell yeah. I show up at that Warcraft tournament in The Gathering. First place is $1,700. And I'm like, what the hell? I was like, can I play? Because I would have won that tournament. I was definitely better than anyone from Norway. Besides Creophilus later, but Creophilus wasn't there. He was not participating in the tournament. So it's like, guys, can I play? And they're like, nah, we kind of hired you to cast. I'm like, damn it. That's rough. That would have been like the second biggest tournament I ever won. Unlucky. Can't have it all in life. Post-youth is going to be our second battleground, with Mixu spawning in the bottom left, Serral in the top right. It is another funky map, obviously, as it is a base, or it's a map with an in-base expand, which sometimes makes scouting a little bit more difficult, especially in the map shop like ZVZ. I mean, I had no PC. I also had to arrange a PC. So I would have to somehow convince a random Norwegian to temporarily give up their PC to me to let me play my tournament games, and I had to find a replacement caster. And I couldn't do either, so. But yeah, I was so shocked. Because in the Netherlands we also had some lands like that. As like I said, we had net games. But whenever I went to net games, first prize was like 400 euros or 300 euros. They had 1700. I was like, what the hell? Baneling Nest and Zergling Speed on the way. Both players have decided to take their third base at the gold. So this could be some good old-fashioned Ling Bane versus Ling Bane. We are turning back the hands of time. And this is how we used to play the video game back in Wings of Liberty. Serral did drop a pretty early Roach one as well. So Mixu has to be careful that he doesn't overdrone. Already working with a 6-worker lead, he kind of needs to stop here. If Mixu makes nothing but units from here on out, this actually doesn't look that bad for him. Assuming that he can save his base here. And I hope for Mixu that he can, but Serral is going to show up right before the hatchery is done. That also means that the hatchery does not have any armor yet, so it gets a little more damage. Hatchery is done right now. Mixu desperately need these Zerglings to show up as Serral is dealing a crazy amount of damage. It is a lot of Banelings. Okay, Serral still has 3 Banelings left over. Oh no. It is a disaster for the underdog. It is a disaster for Mixu. As those final 2 links could kill the hatch, and that is exactly what is going to happen. Serral makes the perfect amount of units to not be Omega committed, not be Omega all in. But he shows up seconds before Mixu wants him to show up. If Mixu would have started building units at 30 drones instead of 32, he probably would have been totally fine there. Serral is so good, man. He finds timings that I did not even know existed. How do you map all of this out perfectly? Things that only Serral knows. Mixu now rallying queens to the other side of the map as he probably feels that it is his time to also do something. Because if he doesn't do anything, Serral's just going to be too far ahead. Queens are hunting down an overlord, and they will get it. It was going to supply block Serral for 0.1 second. Because I'm sure that he saw that coming too. Can Mixu find an opening here? It really does not look like it. It kind of feels that Serral just matches him unit for unit. You've got Banes, I've got Banes. You've got Roaches, I've got units. You've got Links, I've got a few more Links. Mixu sees all those drones, but he can't quite get his Baning to connect. Sitting on 500 minerals. Serral is spending every single penny, guys, that he has. Mixu just floating a little too much because he lost that hatchery. He can't spend his money. Yeah, he just does not have enough firepower here. GG gets called. Serral finishes the regular season of WTL Code S with a perfect 12-0. The man played 6 times and he got 6 2-0s, and that means that we already get all 3 points. And that last match, we're still gonna play it, but we are free rolling. There is a bit of money on the line for every single map that you play in the regular season. But we get the 3 points. Jeez, 1.2 million points. You guys like Serral, don't you? That might actually give Serral a bonus or 2 as well. Regular season MVP, I don't think he's gonna get that. But best Zerg of the regular season, I think he's gonna get that. If you go 12-0, why the hell not? Give you guys 10 minutes. I think 10 minutes should be okay. Let's take a look, because they always give out awards and then you get a tiny bit of a cash prize for it. Oh wait, they already started. Damn it, 10 minutes is way too long. So these are the bonuses that are also on the line. A regular season MVP, playoffs MVP, playoffs SVP. So this is basically for whoever does well throughout the entire playoffs, and this is who does well in the grand finals of the playoffs. Best Zerg of the season, 68 buckies. We'll take it. Don't know if we're gonna win any of those. Yona wants to win everything besides these. Anyway, guys, the match is already live because these two have actually played in advance. I did not know that. I forgot about that. I obviously don't know the score. I never know the score. But they have already played, so the 10 minutes is a little bit too long. I should have gone for a 5-minute prediction. So if you guys want to cheat, there is a potential to cheat here. Map score, I don't think really matters for us, guys. Actually, it doesn't matter. Because if Vitality wins without an ace match, they always finish above us. If every other team wins, they cannot catch us because we have more points. So the map score does not matter. But there is a bit of money on the line, as I said, 250 RMB per map. Bottom right side of side Delta. It is the man from Berlin International Gaming, teaming up with us throughout this season of WTL Code S. It's showtime. D Maurer had a rough debut first couple of rounds in WTL Code S, but the last few play days he's been good, he's been solid. What we knew and what we expected. Top left side, even though you guys may not see him play every single week, he is still one of the best Protoss players in Europe. He's a bit of a beast. It is GunGFuBanDa for Berserker eSports. Can you drop the link to the stream? No. It's technically not allowed, even though it's not really a secret, but that is not something that we're supposed to be sharing. But it's okay. It doesn't change anything. They obviously know that the stream lags sometimes, and the moment that it lags, you guys see the channel. It's not a big deal, but they also don't necessarily want to share it everywhere. There's a backup stream as well on YouTube. Sometimes I use Twitch, sometimes I use YouTube. Are there incentives to show facecam in this tourney? Yes, that is what they always request, but since these games have been played earlier, there is no live camera right now. The other two matches were live, this one is not live. ShoWTimE has gone for his oracles. First oracle is heading to the other side of the map. Second oracle is in production. He's got a little adept here as well. GunGFu should be fine. Sentries actually deal a lot of damage these days. I don't know if that's a fight you want to take. ShoWTimE. Apparently it's not a fight we want to take. No, Karak, it all comes down. Like, you can script this, but it literally all comes down to the absolute last clamor of the regular season. Sunday, 4 p.m., give or take, it is Vitality versus Team Liquid. If Team Liquid wins 3 maps or more, we are first. If Vitality wins 4 maps or more, like 4 out of the first 6, obviously, 4, 2, 5, 1, 6, 0, they are first. That's what it all comes down to. Where's the Roddy excitement? Mate, I've been excited throughout the entire season. In the end, right now, we have done what we had to do. And it doesn't come down to us. It comes down to Team Liquid. Liquid Club. But also, whether we finish first or second, it doesn't change the goal. The goal is to win the playoffs. Now, it's obviously nice to start in the grand finals. That means that we've already done better than last season. But it doesn't change the goal. The goal is to win the playoffs. We had a second place finish in our first attempt. We finished third place last year in the second season. So we got the silver medal, we got the bronze medal. I believe there is one missing. And you don't get that by winning the regular season. Oracle is gonna fly over, perhaps the army. Nope, ShoWTimE's paying attention. Last season we had the same roster but no ShoWTimE. So it was just Trigger, Reynor, Serral, and me, obviously, but I'm only there if something terrible happens to our boys. Other than that, I'm just the coach in the corner. GunGFu feels that there's a tiny window that he can find here, and he does grab one Stalker. But ShoWTimE should have enough units. ShoWTimE's blink is done. He's got a shield battery that he can micro back towards. Thank you, Asper, matey, for the 48 months. That guy is badass, by the way, Sky Skull. I love it, mate. Everybody with their fancy ass glasses and he just stands there. He's like, I don't need it. ShoWTimE blinks forward, grabs a couple of Stalkers. That's obviously solid. Yeah. Big fan of that dude. Never heard of him before, but big fan. ShoWTimE having a pretty solid game here, even though we didn't find crazy damage with our oracles. And once more, it does not matter to us. But would be nice. We have decided in the beginning of the year as a team, obviously, that all the prize money gets evenly distributed among the 4 players. No matter who wins X amount of games, who loses X amount of games. So it is a tiny bit extra, right? 35 buckies per map. If ShoWTimE does win this 2-0, it's another $16, $17 in the pocket for our boys. We'll take it. But Killfoy, they can also win with an ace match. Don't forget about that. And then they get 2 points. If they lose, yeah, they're gonna have to start early. Because then there is a chance that somebody else will overtake them. But they can obviously also win with an ace match, and then they'll be second. And if they win without an ace match, they'll be first. ShoWTimE going up to 4 bases as he's got +1 on the way, and he's starting to take control of the center of the map with all these blink stalkers. Still having one of these oracles alive is obviously always nice. Can drop some stasis trappies now. GunGFu does see it and he guns it down immediately, so I jinxed it. But this game ain't live, so it can't possibly be a caster curse, okay? It was not my fault. Unless we live in a simulation, and they knew I was gonna say this a couple days later. I would always rather be in our position, Swagu. You asking me if I would like anything else other than Reynor, Serral, Trigger, and ShoWTimE along my side? Yeah. That is the modern version of a dream team, baby. We will see how it goes on Sunday, mate. I wish both teams all the best. It's going to be exciting. I'm going to be here for it. I'm going to be watching. And I think it's going to be mega hype. It is nice for WTL as well that they actually saved a great clan war until the very, very end of the season, and it matters. That is up to me to decide, right, Demented? It's way too early to talk about, because we don't know what's going to happen between now and a month, because the playoffs are over 4 weeks. But by the time that the playoffs are around the corner, I will think very deeply, wisely about it, and I'll talk to the team. GunGFu finds a pretty good spot here, guys, as now he's got a superior concave over his ShoWTimE. Those force fields are actually very nice. We don't often think about force fields being great in Blink Stalker battles. But yeah, if you just make it impossible for your opponent to get a nice concave, it's actually kind of annoying. A choke point where we didn't know a choke point would exist. I didn't really like how this game started off for GunGFu, but he's actually making a lot of the correct calls at the moment. This is a really damn good Starcraft 2 player, and he has been for many, many years. Look at the upgrade timing of +2, guys. Perfectly in sync. They were jumping off a springing board into a pool. I'll give him a gold medal for that. That was beautiful. GunGFu is going to blink forward. He's grabbing more and more units. It is really important for ShoWTimE that they start taking some better fights, because it's not like we are seconds away from having a bunch of Immortals or DTs with blink or Disruptors or anything. No, it's just we're working with the same units. And it kind of feels that GunGFu has been able to take a couple of better fights, but it's the 4 Zealots of ShoWTimE that are somehow just casually killing the entire base. There was a cannon there, there was a battery there. GunGFu had enough of it. GunGFu just wants to win as he once more drops force fields. And that just makes this such a difficult spot for ShoWTimE to defend. But ShoWTimE does have shield battery overcharge. And shield battery overcharge normally is amazing. But can it make up for the fact that like 20 of our Stalkers are not fighting? That Nexus, by the way, is starting to run very low on HP. ShoWTimE blinks forward, kills the War Prism. Immortal is doing its crab dance. Crabby. As it's trying to get in range. Look at ShoWTimE. He's started stepping forward like he's a Terran player. Oh my god, I love it. The guy with the gun is now a metallic beast with 4 legs. Eat your heart out, Terrans. We've got it too. GG. ShoWTimE 5-0. That's cool. I've very rarely seen Stalkers move like that in such a big circle. I had no idea I did that. Must have had like 2 different control groups and just did it really quick. 5-0. GunGFu now had map choice, and apparently he opted to go for Alcyone a couple days ago. Did you miss Serral's match? Yes. A little bit of a throw there at the end. Yeah, it felt that GunGFu was playing really good from, let's say, minute 6 to 9, 6 to 10. And then he just kind of tilted, I have the feeling, when those 4 Zealots show up. You don't normally see 4 Zealots killing a cannon, a battery, a base. GunGFu had enough of it. Just wanted to end it, and it did not work out. Top right side of Alcyone, we are looking at the main base of GunGFuBanDa. Bottom left side. Did he give us the clean sweep, or is it a perfect 5-on-1? Representing Berlin International Gaming and BASILISK this season of the WTL Code S, ShoWTimE. GunGFu has a great smile. He's a character, mate. I have seen GunGFu smile like that once upon a time in Kiev. He was a very happy boy. Serral was brutal to Mixu. Game 2 was very sharp though. Game 2 is actually the kind of game that I do think is interesting to look at. And Game 1 was also a nice response, just showing us that Serral's game sense, don't think anybody would ever doubt it, but is still as good as it possibly could be. What makes Serral in general is not just that he's got good micro, macro, great strategies, is excellent in late game. This is that he reads situations so incredibly well. And sees something, knows immediately what to do, makes the correct decision. There are very rarely several games that you look at and you're like, ah, I think it's kind of weird that he does this after seeing that. Like, no. The man plays close to perfect. Reynor against BattleB was a fun best of 2 though. So if you guys missed that, I would absolutely recommend taking a look at those games if you like ZVT. BattleB played them well. Reynor obviously good too. But BattleB once more showing us that he is one of the most exciting up-and-coming Terrans in the European scene. We've had a couple and he's been around for a bit obviously at this point, but he's definitely still getting better. And got a lot of adepts on the production tab. GunGFu making adepts, ShoWTimE making a couple of adepts. What was ShoWTimE his opening though? Also adepts. 4 adept versus 4 adept. Ay ay ay. GunGFu goes for the robo. I guess ShoWTimE will do the same because it's a little bit too late to go Stargate at this point. I think if we would have gone Stargate earlier, we would have actually been kind of cooking. But then obviously you have less units. And maybe he couldn't afford a pylon block, Lord knows. Will GunGFu drop a 3rd gate? No, he does not do that. He will expand just a little bit later than ShoWTimE does it. So quicker expand on the side of the Maur, quicker robo on the side of GunGFu. We've got one more clan war in WTL Code S after this one. This one actually went mega quick. And of course we've got the big brain bouts guys later tonight. Couple guys playing for the first time. Reynor and Skill is playing. I think it's going to be a sick Friday. And then at 3 AM tonight, we've got the Tasteless LAN in Stormgate. And I'm going to try to be there for that too. Oh, it's mega annoying, Alex. It is mega annoying, but I don't have too many hairs left, so I don't want to maul too much. No, that one, dude, Joey, it does not change anything for us. We only had one mission today, and the one mission was win without an ace match. Get 3 points and put some extra pressure on Vitality. We have done that 5-1, 6-0, does not change anything other than the $35. ShoWTimE is working on that pylon as GunGFu obviously tried to get lucky in the other side of the map. Could not get in. ShoWTimE is gonna kill it. Will we get some force fields in time? Nope. Oh, he's gonna shade in now. Oh no, he's actually gonna block it with his own shades. Well done. Almost missed that. Now that is very adventurous Warp Prism movement. Oh my goodness. No, that is so risky. Going back to pick up that one leftover low HP adept is so risky, but okay, he gets away with it. It's not that common, no GG gaming. What you often see is that one of the 2 players goes for this style and the other one plays normal. Very rarely do you see both players go for it. But it's just one of these choices that you make in the beginning without necessarily knowing what your opponent is doing. Reynor did not go 1-on-1. Oh my goodness, guys! GunGFu, there is hallucinated Phoenix on top of your low HP Warp Prism. It's so risky what he's doing. Now the adepts are gonna shade in on the other side of the map. I really think this is a bit of a nightmare scenario for GunGFu. Now GunGFu may have dropped that Nexus, but apparently it was one big fake and he never really wanted to use it. Or he just didn't know how to build probes, but he's gonna lose his Warp Prism here. It is inevitable. It's a disaster game for GunGFuBanDa. He is not gonna kill all these stalkers. He's not gonna kill the sentries. The Mauer will continue to be strong in the WTL Code S. A bumpy start, guys, to the regular season for ShoWTimE. But I think throughout the second half of the regular season, he was excellent for us. A perfect 6-0. I think it's the second one of the season. 2-0 Reynor, 2-0 Serral, 2-0 ShoWTimE. That means we're gonna have a 5-minute break before we get ready for the second clan war. Well, we can take a look at the standings and whatnot. ShoWTimE did indeed get the 2-0. The boys finished very, very strong. From 0-2 to 9-2. It's great to have Yona back, baby. 9-2. 27 points. So the map score, obviously, guys, would normally matter. And this is why the final maps did not really matter. Because if Vitality wins even by, let's say, 4 and 2, they obviously get 2 more. And they're already 2 maps ahead of us. So it doesn't really matter what we did in map 5 and 6. We just had to get the 3 points. You get 3 points by winning without an ace match. We did that. So we're going to finish first or second. That is now set in stone. No one else can catch us. And then it all comes down to this turbo banger on the Sunday. Clem versus Ryong, Skillet versus Maru, Cure versus Solar. It's gonna be so fun. I'm so excited for it. And we're gonna have to wait at least a day and a half. Next up, guys. Ooh, Kalazur versus Euthermal. I think that is a TVT. Euthermal really hasn't played a lot of random lately. Fun match. Kalazur versus Euthermal. To determine who is the best Terran player in the Netherlands. Two very good friends of each other. I'll give you guys 10 minutes. Do you guys believe in Diego representing R8 and of course the Platinum Heroes? Or do you guys believe in Euthermal, who is fighting for Offsite Gaming? Yo, Breba! Long time no see, Breba. Using Serral feels like cheating. I understand why you say that. But it's also important to keep in mind that we've had Serral for the previous 2 seasons of the WTL-Guest-Member, and we haven't won it yet. Serral is absolutely amazing, and he's my GOAT. But there are many great Starcraft 2 players out there. And it is not easy to win a team league, with or without Serral. You're definitely going to win a lot of maps with Serral, but winning a team league ain't easy.